Chapter 5. Charm. Machiavellian Social Competency. Introduction. A quote from A Limitable Man. Charm is a formulaic manipulation. End quote. Charm is your ability to make people like and trust you. In any capitalist society, charm is the most critical tool in a Machiavellian's toolbox. When people like you, it makes them more inclined to help you and more hesitant to harm you. Conversely, when people dislike you, it makes them less inclined to help you and more willing to harm you. The venues where your ability to charm people can be the difference between victory and defeat are endless. Office politics, job interviews, negotiation, sales and marketing, family politics, and so on. This piece gives a boilerplate template for how to charm people. You will have to modify the specific techniques you use to charm people, depending on the personalities of the specific individuals you meet. What charms one person may offend another. As such, in order to optimize your ability to charm, you must be good at cold reading, accurately guessing a person's psychological profile before having extensive interaction with them. Distrust the likable. A quote by Baldassar Gracian. Do not take payment in politeness. End quote. While you use charm to manipulate others, be careful to ensure that the charm of others does not enable them to manipulate you. Distrust people who are considered likable by almost everyone. People who naturally have a likable personality are rare. Far more common are competent Machiavellians who are capable of wearing a mask that is charming. Most people conflate charm with virtue. If a person is considered likable, they assume the person is compassionate and morally upright. Nothing could be further from the truth. A quote from A Limitable Man. As a matter of prudence, the more charming, the more dangerous. End quote. Don't be yourself. Just be yourself is terrible advice. Far better advice is this. Wear the mask that the day and the moment require. In the unlikely event you naturally have a personality that most people consider to be charming, then just being yourself is a great strategy. Sadly, your actual personality probably isn't that likable. You will need to craft a mask that most people will find likable and wear it whenever you enter a venue where the stakes are high. Subtlety. The techniques you use to charm people, or to manipulate people in any context, must be applied subtly. If people become consciously aware of the manipulations you employ, it causes them to distrust you rather than like you. The principles of charm. Number 1. Looks. Halo effect. Good-looking people are considered to be more likable and more trustworthy than ugly people. Most people are heavily influenced by outward appearances. Not everyone is blessed with the genetics to be beautiful like I am, but we can all put effort into optimizing our physical appearance. The second principle of charm. Pretense you like them. A quote from Francesco Guicciardini. If you dislike a man, do your best to hide it. For in ways you could not possibly foresee, you may need his help, and you can hardly get it if he knows you dislike him. On many occasions, I needed the help of a man who I despised, and he, believing I liked him, or at least being unaware of the truth, served me readily. End quote. In order to charm people, you must maintain the pretense that you like them. Any dislike or disdain you have for them must be concealed. This sounds obvious, yet many subordinates fail to do this when interacting with their superiors. The third principle of charm. pretense you are virtuous. You must always maintain the pretense that you are a kind and virtuous person, otherwise people will distrust you. Any evil you do must be concealed. There are exceptional cases where having the appearance of ruthlessness may inspire fear and respect rather than disdain and hatred. Such cases are rare. Don't assume yours is one of them. The fourth principle of charm: enthusiasm or extroversion. Generally speaking, extroverts are considered to be more likable than introverts. This is because extroverts are more enthusiastic, enthusiasm being a subtrait of the Big Five trait, extroversion. Smiling and having warmth in one's voice is typical of those who rank high on enthusiasm, far more so than it is for those who rank low on enthusiasm. There is a limit to this. If you are too enthusiastic, it causes people to think you are an annoying cunt. A quote from Jordan Belfort. If someone is unenthusiastic and seems disconnected, you don't keep talking at them in a tone that is overly positive and enthusiastic. You match their tone and build up to a level where you sound enthusiastic again. End quote. When charming someone, you should mirror their level of enthusiasm and be slightly more enthusiastic than they are. If they are a 7 out of 10 on the enthusiasm scale, you should be an 8 out of 10. If they are 2 out of 10, you should be a 3 out of 10. If you are far more enthusiastic than they are, they will think you're annoying. If you are less enthusiastic than they will think you're boring, perhaps even unfriendly. Many people mistakenly conflate a lack of enthusiasm with meanness. If you are naturally a low enthusiasm or introverted person, caffeine may help temporarily boost your enthusiasm levels. Be warned, caffeine tends to also increase neuroticism. The fifth principle of charm: agreeableness. Appearing to be highly agreeable will make you likable. Appearing to be disagreeable will make you dislikable. There is a balance to this. If you appear to be so agreeable that people perceive you are a pushover, it causes them to lose respect for you. People should perceive that you are generally agreeable and polite, but still have a capacity for ruthlessness. With extroversion, the subtrait that is critical for charm is enthusiasm. See the previous section. With agreeableness, the subtrait that is critical for charm is politeness. The sixth principle of charm: enthusiasm and agreeableness, conflation. Most people foolishly conflate the enthusiasm of extroversion with agreeableness. If you are highly enthusiastic and disagreeable, people will mistakenly perceive that you are compassionate and kind like an agreeable person. If you are unenthusiastic and agreeable, people will mistakenly perceive that you are ruthless like a disagreeable person. The point is this: for the sake of charming people, appearing high on enthusiasm, extroversion, is more important than appearing high on agreeableness. You may notice that extroverts who are disagreeable are good at charming most people, while introverts who are agreeable tend to be bad at charming people. Ideally, you should appear high on both enthusiasm and agreeableness, but do keep in mind that high enthusiasm tends to be the main driver of charm, rather than high agreeableness. In life, you have two choices: be an ignorant fool or a brilliant strategist. Buy the audiobook now to learn how to be the latter. Scroll down to find the link in the description. Click on the link. Purchase it now. Listen to the entire audiobook from start to finish. Then, watch your life transform.